Bestie, I don't mean to scare you, but we got 3 months left in the year. It's time to reinvent yourself.
I bet if I give all my love, then nothing's gonna tear us apart.
I don't know about you, but I just feel like 2024 is your year. I mean, every year is your year, but I feel something special in 2024. I feel like there's been a lot of content on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, all about glowing up and reinventing yourself, how to become your best self. I mean, that's what this entire channel is dedicated to. It's dedicated to you. And because there's all this content out there, there's so much content that you can consume. You have all the tools and resources to make 2024 your best year. So don't just start on January 1st. That's not when our glow up starts. We start preparing now so that we go into the new year our best self. And that starts in Q4. That starts right now. That starts in the fall. Let's get into how to reinvent yourself this fall. Hi, my name is Jazz. I create a lot of content on how to become your best self, how to glow up, how to just become the best you possible here on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So if you're not already part of the family, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And if you like content like this, if you feel like 2024 is going to be your best year yet, go ahead and hit that like button. And also comment down below what you're trying to work on or what you envision your higher self to look like in 2024. I also don't mean to scare you. You know what I mean? You don't have to have everything together. I certainly don't, child. I certainly do not. But I do feel like 2022 and 2023 were some of my best years yet. And it was because I was prepared. I didn't start on January 1st. I made an action plan somewhere in the fall to truly reinvent myself. I feel like 2022 was my kind of glow up and 2023 was like my reinvention year. So it's gonna be a little bit of both, how to glow up, how to become your best self, how to reinvent yourself. But I wanna give you the tools and I wanna give you the resources to truly prepare for your higher self, because it's coming. I'm going to give you 10 things that you can do this fall to reinvent yourself. These don't all have to be done all at once. Maybe you have one thing from this video that resonates with you. If so, then I have done my job. But these are all things that I have done in the past 2 to 3 years that have truly helped my glow up and my reinvention. And I truly feel like they will help you too. So take what you need, leave what you don't. I hope this video is super, super helpful. So let's get into tip or advice number 1. Also, if you really like content like this, make sure to follow me on TikTok. If you have a shorter attention span, I have an entire playlist on glow up and I'm starting a whole other series on how to reinvent yourself. So if you like the same type of content but you need it quick and you need it easy, go ahead, head over to my TikTok. The first thing that I want you to try is something that helped me so much on my glow up journey. It's one of the first things that I did, and it is called shadow work. Now, it is not as scary as it might seem. I found shadow work really just searching on YouTube. There's probably a plethora of other videos that go truly in depth into what shadow work is. I would highly recommend after this video, or even if you want to exit out of this video, to just go see what shadow work is. But I'm going to explain my definition. I'm going to explain the benefits. I'm going to give you some resources so that you feel fully comfortable to try this out for yourself. So in essence, your shadow self is basically your unconscious mind. It is the parts of yourself that you have repressed, that you have rejected so much, and it's buried so deep inside of you. And oftentimes they come out in our emotional reactions, in our triggers. It might feel like something's like bubbling up from inside of us. We might not know why we're so triggered at something. It is our unconscious mind that is triggered, our shadow self. Our unconscious minds contain information from things that we've repressed, that we've rejected, painful events, trauma, childhood experiences that were painful. And these really cause impulsive behaviors or harmful habits that we see in ourselves as adults today. For example, if we think back to childhood, maybe you always laughed at everything and someone told you to stop laughing. Or maybe you were just a little bit more emotional, a little bit more sensitive, and someone told you to stop crying. It's part of ourselves that are just very natural, that didn't fit into the mold of society, that we were forced to then repress, bury down deep, and for some reason, events in our current life trigger that part of ourselves. Thus, shadow work is really working through and journaling, through meditating, through therapy, really diving deep into your unconscious mind, these repressed behaviors that are triggering you, that are causing harmful habits, so that you are able to make the unconscious conscious and you are truly able to live your authentic, happy, fulfilled, highest self. There are so many benefits to shadow work. For one, it can really help with your anxiety and your depression. It can really help your self-esteem and your confidence. You can build and nurture better relationships with the people around you, can even inspire creativity, can practice self-love and self-acceptance. You can even discover things about yourself, different hobbies and different skills. You can have better clarity about your path forward and even your past. And it can just improve your overall wellness in your life. I really started shadow work and I started to become interested in it because it became very apparent to me that I couldn't really forge a path forward to my highest self if I didn't even know myself, if I didn't even know why I reacted the way that I did. So shadow work will definitely kind of put you through it a little bit, and there's many different ways that you can do it. So let me share some resources with you today. I chose the free 99 way, and I just went on Pinterest and I searched 14-day shadow work journal prompt, and I would do a prompt a day, or maybe I would take a break from a couple of days because it was just like heavy or whatever. I will include the exact shadow work page down in the description below. But nowadays, because shadow work and journaling is so popular nowadays, there's definitely journals out there, and I have two that I want to share with you today. The first one is a very, very dedicated shadow work journal. TikTok shop got me, but it is so good. It is so clear. It's definitely more clear than I'm ever able to describe, but it's called the Shadow Work Journal. I will link it down below. It's truly amazing. Again, I've done shadow work. I've been doing shadow work for 2 years. But these have just some of the most insightful prompts, journal prompts. It has exercises, reflections, just a lot of things that are going to be very, very helpful. Like, this is a true exercise workbook journal. I would highly recommend this. I know you probably have heard of these next journals before. They are Black woman owned, and I have been obsessed with these for a number of years. I have two right here. They're not outright shadow work journals. It doesn't really say that anywhere, but I consider them shadow work journals. They're from the inside then out. I have the Better Every Day, and then I have the Dig Deeper. These two journals, first of all, they're so aesthetically pleasing and they're Black owned, but they are so good and will be so pivotal in your healing journey. I would highly recommend these. Shadow work is definitely not an easy thing to do, but it will be pivotal to the reinvention of yourself. The whole definition of reinventing yourself, glowing up, gearing up for your highest self in 2024 is creating something new based off of what has already existed. So you have to unpack and really understand who you are currently, what you've been through, the lessons that you've learned, and shadow work is an amazing opportunity for you to do that. The second way you can reinvent yourself, I'm just gonna get this out of the way because I've talked about it 50 million times, is to manifest through journaling. I love this technique. I do it probably once a month, and I will journal a day in my higher self because it changes, you know, month to month what I want out of my higher self. And the main things that you want to do is, one, you want to get into a really clear headspace when you're doing this. You want to either meditate beforehand, or you want to feel very calm and very clear. And then when you're journaling a day in your higher self, you want to always use the present tense. You want to really, really act like it's truly just a day in your life, just like a journal entry. The third thing you want to do when you're journaling is to add a lot of feelings behind it. There should be a lot of feelings. Obviously, you know, there's going to be materialistic stuff in there, but you should be describing how you feel in the morning, how your workouts feel, how it feels to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, how it feels to be with the love of your life, how it feels to do this, 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 this. And again, always put it in the present tense. If you're trying to reinvent yourself for 2024 and you're really gearing up this fall to do that, it would be what I I would suggest that you would do is, like, for instance, if today is October 1st, 2023, I would journal entry at October 1st, 2024. I would write in the present tense. I would have a lot of feeling behind it. I would keep doing these journal prompts at least like once a month or once a quarter just to check in. The third thing you can do to reinvent yourself, and I don't even want to hear it in the comments that this is vain, because it truly works and I don't care. You are going to invest in one thing that you feel like will improve how you feel about your appearance. Whether this is changing your hair color, whether this is trying a new haircut, whether this is getting Botox and fillers, whether this is changing your personal style, whether this is getting a nose piercing, whether this is getting microblading, whether this is changing up your nail shape, something, investing in something, a chemical peel, I don't know, something to change your appearance. I don't care what anybody says. When you are reinventing yourself, it is the internal work, but it's also the physical work. And I think when you change something about your appearance, you get very excited about it. And it almost just feels like a new character is unlocked. Like, it just feels like a new era of you. I have done this multiple times to just signal just a new era. It's almost like when a girl dyes her hair or cuts her hair off when she goes through a breakup or goes through like a tough time. Like, it's just a signal of a new era. So I would highly suggest investing in something in your appearance that just signals this new reinvention of you. The fourth thing that you can do this fall to really reinvent yourself is develop a self-care ritual. I know we all have things that are self-care to us, whether they be massages, whether they be face masks or something, but I would implore you to develop a true ritual, like how we all have morning routines, night routines, whatever those routines may be. Maybe this is once a week or maybe this is once a month. Truly being at home and maybe, researching or investing in products for this self-care ritual. And maybe it looks like, once a month, I'm going to start at 6 p.m. and I'm going to start by dry brushing. And then I'm going to take a really long everything shower and use all of my expensive or good smelling lotions and body butters and body washes. And then I'm going to pour myself a really good glass of wine or some tea. And then I'm going to do a foot mask, and maybe I do my nails at home, or maybe I do a face mask at home. Maybe I shave my face. Maybe I do some dermaplaning. Maybe I watch a podcast or a sermon or something, some type of self-care routine or ritual to help ground you during this reinvention. It's almost going to seem like a treat to yourself. All of this self-work that you're doing, you're working on your body, you're working on your health, you're working on your skin, you're working on your hair, you're working on just everything. A self-care ritual this fall, especially a cozy self-care ritual when you're lighting a candle and you're using some fall time scents and some fall time perfumes, is going to be so integral to ground you in a safe space for you during this reinvention, because this reinvention is not going to be easy. A reinvention doesn't even sound easy. You know what I mean? So you need to have something that gets back to you, that pours into you. This fall, or maybe even going into the new year, I would try to develop a hobby or a skill. Bonus points if it's like a high value hobby or skill. This is something that I am personally really excited to do for myself. I've done a lot of self-care and healing work, but I really don't have like hobbies. And if you were to ask me what my hobby would be, it would probably be like self-care. But I want to start developing high value hobbies. So let me give you a quick list of hobbies that you can start to research. You can start to maybe put a little bit of money aside for. Some of these are just free 99, just some high value hobbies and skills to elevate your lifestyle. Also, hobbies and skills are a great way to meet different people, to elevate yourself. It gives you something to talk about in social circles. Like, please develop a hobby or a skill. First one is flower arranging. I'm not personally going to do this, but I know the TikTok girlies love this. And honestly, they are addicting to watch. They be going to Trader Joe's, they be going to wherever. And they truly say that it's therapeutic for them to just design a floral arrangement every single week. And it's such a hobby for them. And they really get skillful at it too. So definitely recommend flower arranging. Sewing, knitting, or crocheting. All of that stuff doesn't even sound old anymore because the amount of videos that I've watched on crocheting and the amount of people on TikTok that have told me how therapeutic it makes them, how it gives them something to do and the satisfaction and achievement of making something for your loved ones or making something for yourself or seeing a design and being able to do it. It's such like a skill that people really nurture. I would highly recommend taking maybe a sewing class or crocheting. Great way to meet people too. It's such a niche area of TikTok. So you are definitely going to meet like-minded people that are into that sewing, knitting, and crocheting. It's such a high value skill in my opinion. Learn to play an instrument. It's not as daunting as you might think. Learning to play the piano or maybe learning to play the saxophone or the violin or something. It is just something just so interesting when it comes up in conversation. Like, oh, like I'm learning to play the violin right now, or I'm learning to play the piano. It's just something so interesting, something just so high value. It's like, I don't know, it's just kind of like a break from your day when you're learning to play an instrument. It's skillful, but it's also just a hobby. Dancing, and by dancing I mean like salsa classes or ballroom or ballet, something like that. Again, amazing way to network with different people. It moves your body. It can count as one of your workouts. It's something that you enjoy. If you really get into it, you could enter like competitions and different conferences and fairs and stuff like that. Like, I would highly recommend to get into dancing. One thing that I really kind of want to challenge myself to do that I'm kind of scared to do is tennis. Tennis is such a high value sport. Again, great networking. Like what golf is to men, tennis is to the girlies. Like, it is such a great networking, especially if you're in search for mentors. Like, that's where you go and find them, is the tennis courts. And like, so, but I'm kind of nervous because I'm definitely more like a track type of person. I like running. I don't really do well with things. I'm not a volleyball person. I'm not a tennis person, but I don't know. I want to challenge myself. One thing that my mom loves to do that I found a number of my friends actually like to do is scrapbooking. I feel like we travel a lot, or maybe you travel a lot. Having memories, obviously, in your phone, pictures and videos, but creating a collage of them, scrapbooks from vacations and girls' trips and birthdays and stuff like that. Like, we have to understand, like, our generation doesn't be scrapbooking anymore. What are we gonna show our kids? I don't want to have kids, but what are y'all gonna show y'all kids? Like, we need to start scrapbooking. One of the last things I have for you is like cooking or baking. This is something that I'm not personally into, except for baking. I think baking is super fun. This is another one of those hobbies and skills that's very satisfying when you like make something really good. Again, it's a great conversation starter. It's great to make it for your loved ones. It just makes you feel very good, I've heard. Like, I have a friend that just loves the process of cooking. She loves looking up recipes on Pinterest, or she loves trying something at a restaurant and trying to recreate it. It's such a hobby of hers. Second to last one is gardening, or even taking care of plants in your apartment. Again, another therapeutic to grow something. Like, that is so, and you know, plant parents are like truly plant parents, and they be researching and everything like that. So, and then the last one is drawing or painting. Again, another therapeutic hobby or skill that you can start to develop. You can even take drawing classes or painting classes. Another amazing way to meet people. Paint and sips, things like that. You can host things at your house. Like, another amazing hobby and skill. I think we're on number 5. The 5th thing that I want you to focus on with this reinvention is networking. I would really make it a point to network with people that align with your higher self, this vision that you have for yourself. And even if you can go as far as mentors. And what I always tell people is, when you develop a high value hobby, or you start to do maybe high value sports like tennis or yoga or Pilates or golf or something like that, you should be networking. And networking does not always mean business. You know what I mean? Half of the time, networking is an exchange of information. It is learning something from somebody. It is, at its core, getting to know people and learning from them. You know what I mean? So I think networking has a lot of bad connotations, but I can't tell you how many times I've taken Pilates or yoga classes at affluent neighborhoods. and gone to the smoothie place next door, the juice bar next door, and just be like, hey, like I really like your pants, or hey, like wasn't that class super hard? I cannot tell you how many connections I've had. And you never know who you are going to meet. You never know what kind of mentor you're trying to meet. Maybe you're really trying to get into interior design, and all of a sudden that lady goes, oh, I actually know somebody that's looking for an interior design intern. You just never know who you are going to meet. So with this reinvention, I would develop peers, but also network with people that align with your higher self. If you live in a bigger city, there's definitely social clubs, women's clubs, things that you can join that are very intentional on their glow up, on becoming their higher self, that are amazing to surround yourself with. Especially here in Atlanta, we have tens of millions of them that are curated to the vision that you might have for yourself, and aligning yourself with people like that in your life will only boost you more towards your goals. You never know who you're gonna be. Sixth thing that I want you to do, again, I've talked about this 50 million times before, so I won't go into depth, is to create a vision board of your higher self. I think this is so integral to my own personal glow up journey. You can do this on January 1st, once you've done a couple of things, develop the morning routines, the habits, the systems throughout this reinvention, and then you're going to cultivate it through a vision board. But when you're creating this vision board, it's almost kind of like that journaling of your day in the life of your higher self. You really want to put a lot of feeling towards it, a lot of feeling behind it. And I would implore you, if you've been creating vision boards, if you're pretty well versed with vision boards, I would implore you this vision board to make it a little bit organized, to break it up into different sections, almost like a life vision board. I would get very organized with it. I would break it up into financial. How much do you want to pay down in debt? Or how much do you want to make annually? Or what side hustles do you want to cultivate? What is your home looking like? What is your apartment looking like? What's the vibe in it? What's the aesthetic of it? Also look at your career. Where are you working? Are you happy where you're working? Do you have people under you? Do you have a mentor? I'd also look at recreation, like we just said, the hobbies and the skills that you're cultivating. What do you do in your free time of your higher self? I also have a wellness section. What are you doing for your body? What are you doing for your mind? What are you doing for your soul? Are you meditating every single day? Do you have like a meditation picture on your vision board? Are you working out at Pilates, yoga? Are you in the gym? Are you watching sermons? Are you reading podcasts? Or do you have your own podcast? Also look at relationships. What do your relationships look like? Do you have a long-term partner? Are you in your single era? Like, what do the relationships look like in your life? What do familial relationships look like? What does it look like to you? Also look at your personal life. What goals personally are you working towards? What are your boundaries that this higher self has? What are her habits? What are her values? And then I'd also look at community. What communities do you want to be a part of? What friends do you want to bring into your network? And of course, how are you helping others? How is your higher self helping others? I'd get very, very organized with this vision board. Seventh thing that I want you to focus on in this reinvention of yourself is personal style. I have an entire video on this very same subject up on TikTok. I will link it down below. But there are three main ways that you can find your personal style, or at least how I found my personal style. And I would describe my personal style as like classy, sexy type of style. The first way that I did is I just went on Pinterest and I created a whole new board, a whole new like idea board. And I just went through Pinterest and I just started to pin things that really spoke to me, that made me feel good when I looked at them, made me be like, ooh, she looks good. Like I just pinned a whole bunch of things that spoke to me. And then what I did is I looked at that board as a whole and I started to find commonalities. Were a lot of these styles classic? Were a lot of these styles edgy? Were a lot of these styles chic? Were a lot of these styles bohemian? What kind of colors are in them? Are they a lot of oranges? Are they a lot of muted colors? Are they a lot of neutral colors? A lot of blacks? I just looked at it and then I developed a 1 to 2 sentence kind of blurb about like what I was seeing. So I would say like pinning a lot of classic styles, but they also have a sensual nature to them, a lot of sexiness to them. I'm not pinning a lot of colors. There are a lot of muted type of colors, neutrals and blacks, but when I do pin a color, it oftentimes is pink. When you develop this kind of sentence after you look through your board, what you're going to be able to do is go on Amazon, go on Pinterest, go into department stores, go anywhere, and just have a very clear vision of what you're looking for when you're shopping. You can also look at your closet and keep this sentence in mind and take away or add whatever matches that type of sentence for this new personal style you're developing. The second way that you can develop your personal style is through colorwise.me. And what this does, it analyzes your skin color, your hair color, and your eye color to really pick out colors and styles and things that would look best on you to just bring out the natural attributes that you might have. These might change throughout the seasons, but this is another amazing way to really personalize your style. On the second hand, this is it, number 3, but you can also just take style quizzes. You can take like 3 style quizzes and see if they're pretty congruent across. I would literally just Google personal style quiz and see what each of them bring up. I most oftentimes like a classic, sexy, chic type of style. Third way you can do this, and I can create a whole other YouTube video on this, is to do your style based off of your feminine archetype. Again, I would YouTube this all on your own. I'm not going to go into too much depth. I'll also link a creator that does a lot of content on personal style, on archetypes, on color palettes down below if you want more information on that. Developing your personal style during this reinvention is almost like changing your hair color or investing in something in your appearance. It's just a signal of just like a new era. It's also just going to make you very, very excited and looking forward to this higher version of yourself. 8th thing that I want you to do in this reinvention of yourself is to challenge yourself. Now, through shadow work, through journaling, maybe you already know, you kind of have a sense of the baggage you're bringing into this reinvention, the things that you need to truly address, whether that be abandonment issues or anxiety or depression or self-esteem, confidence, something, you know what to work on. I would have a little challenge for yourself during this fall, just a challenge. Like, for instance, if you deal with abandonment issues, you need to challenge yourself to listen to podcasts, consume content, things like that really work on that abandonment issues, but also maybe have like little challenges. Like if you get into an argument with your partner, or you get into a little disagreement with a friend, or you're placed in a situation where you're going to be triggered, really just being like, this is going to be my challenge. Like, I'll give you an example. If you have problems with confidence making new friends, or you have confidence issues, maybe you challenge yourself through your reinvention once a month, or maybe you even do once a week. I'm going to introduce myself to someone new and I'm going to strike up a conversation first. That is going to be my personal challenge during this reinvention. Not only is this going to show yourself that you can commit yourself to yourself, but it's also just something during this reinvention that continues that shadow work, that continues that inner journey that you're truly trying to heal in order to become your best self. The 10th thing that I want you to do during this glow up journey is make social media work for you. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, you can go as far in this reinvention of yourself to delete all pictures, delete all content. Like, this is a new version of me, baby. Like, I don't care what y'all saw before, but that ain't me. It's a new version of myself. So what you can do on your own end is just delete everything. Start new, start fresh. You don't have to go that far though. The second thing that you can do is make social media work for you. I remember when I was really starting this reinvention, this glow up, I made an entire new Pinterest, maybe make an entire new Instagram, whatever, to change the algorithm to stuff that fit my higher self. So a lot of people see social media as very toxic and very draining, and that's why I say you need to make social media work for you. Every single time you log onto an app, you should be inspired by something, motivated by something, you should be learning something, or you should be checking in with a friend. That's what you should be getting from social media. Whenever I log on Instagram, it's some type of mindfulness podcast, or it's some type of motivating quote, or it's my friends doing great things. Social media is just so positive for me. I never log on to the shade room. I don't follow the shade room. I don't follow gossip pages. I especially don't follow celebrities or influencers that don't truly make me feel good or don't really resemble my higher self. So really curating the content, whether it be Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it may be, to fit this version of your higher self. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reinventing yourself for the fall. It is a fine girl fall. We are in our last quarter of this year. This year really flew by, but I wanted to give you at least some tools, some content, some resources to keep in mind during your reinvention. I would definitely recommend checking out other glow up videos, other reinvention videos, and pairing some of the things that I said along with some more stuff that you learned. But I hope you learned a lot. I hope it was helpful. I hope it resonated with you. And make sure to check out my other videos for more inspiration, more motivation, and more content just like this. Don't forget to follow me on all of my other social medias. I create content just like this, just kind of different. And if you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe and give this video a like. I will meet you down in the comment section and we'll have a little chit chat. But other than that, I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.